Ladies and gentlemen, if you don't mind, I'd like to call this part two of this A Family Affair. I explained to you in part one exactly how God works, how this invisible spirit works, and how we the people who are living within the confines of that spirit in our daily lives and operation. And I started telling you about the other side. The one that says that you, some of you, are superior to others, that you deserve more and better than others, that others should work for you and you enjoy the benefits thereof because you're so special. So special that some of you have designed yourselves as being kings and queens and pharaohs and popes and bishops and priests and all of these different things. And in the midst of all of this is pain and suffering and hunger and lack of education, lack of adequate health care, in fact, poor health care, envy and hate and wealth for some. And I mean, this is pure hell. America, with what you see right now, is pure hell. Some of you might think I was the TV camera, I think it said something about Donald Trump's house. Somebody would say they went to Donald Trump's house, and inside of that house, I don't know what room we went to, but it looked like they had gold trimmings and all kinds of things there because this is what Donald Trump apparently likes. In the scriptures, you would say that's the same kind of stuff that Lucifer likes. But we won't try to say that that's bad for Donald Trump or Lucifer. If that's what they want and nobody else wants it. If anybody else and everybody else on the face of the earth want their house equipped the same way as that. If they want it equipped the same way as that, and they can have it equipped the same way as that, there's nothing wrong with that. The only problem is if when some can and others can't. And when those who can't is because of something that those who can are doing, then there's a problem with that. And that happens in every nation on the face of the earth. The people are getting messed over and they stick to it. You realize the people who you have heard me refer to, that the public, the American public, has said that our next president is Lucifer. I mean, he came out, he talked about everybody. He sure didn't show no compassion for anybody. Anybody that looked at him funny, he talked about him. He made fun of the sick. He talked about everybody, and the people loved him. They said, well, we didn't vote for him for we just want to get rid of the Democrats. They were just too evil. And so we don't know what we get now. But we know we're not getting a Democrat. And that is fine with them. And that's fine with all of America. And that's fine with all of the world. Because none of the world is changing to please. Now, you might ask yourself, what are you going to do when you make this change or when you're so wonderful? Let me tell you what you're going to do. When you know the truth will set you free. Once you recognize and respect the fact that there is a power, and those of you who have seen the hand should have no problem. You should be standing up for what's right in every corner where wrong exists. And you should let nothing, I mean nothing take you under but death itself. And you only let death take you because it's a door that leads you to a place where people go and there is no bull like that. So you know the truth. You know the world was made by a power unseen. You know that you exist by a power unseen. And you know how that power wants you to act because it has shown you. And you know that this world got another way. And they make laws to protect it. And they will do anything. They'll imprison you and they will kill you if you don't obey. That's the only way they keep you. The only way they keep you. By tricking you. Saying that they'll kill you. Making you think that that's such a bad thing. The best thing that can happen to you in this world, if it ain't paradise or heaven, is for you to die. Not at your own hands. but at somebody else's hands because you are doing good. Now, this might not make any sense to anybody, but all of you preachers, you have made heaven look real bad. Well, you really haven't made heaven look bad. You made yourself look bad. You just made everybody realize that you wasn't nothing but a hypocrite talking about a bunch of junk you don't know a darn thing about. The world has been in several wars. This nation, too, suffered what the natives went through, what the women went through, what the blacks went through, what everybody's going through right now. And you talking about a God that's what, sitting down at a poll voting for a Republican or a Democrat. You made yourself look like a fool because your mission was to do exactly what you did because you were not called. Anybody who was called is doing what they were called to do. Nobody was called to sit up there and say, my Bible says. You say that when you don't know what you're talking about. Everybody say my Bible says. Everybody study their scriptures so they can pretend that we all know because we all got the scriptures. And the only thing we know about God is about what the scripture says. You're just a bunch of junk. You don't. If that's all you got, you don't know nothing about God. All you know is what somebody said about God. Now, you don't want me to say this to you because you still trying to pimp your people and get some bills paid, put some money in your pocket. God ain't thinking about your pockets like that. God designed a way that nobody would suffer. That's what God is thinking about. And you standing in God's way. People are hurting. And now they're going choosing the devil to lead them because there's no representation from God. Every time God stands up, he gets killed. And nobody else is real enough to stand up. So the people who watch this godly person die can continue to see some God stand up because everybody get in a corner and hide. And you don't want your message to go outside those walls unless you're knocking on somebody's door trying to bring somebody else in there for you to try to get some money from. You say, why am I talking about money? You take money to do the things you do in the world. Not in the world. Obeying this master, it does. But if you obey God, it doesn't take money. It doesn't take money because you don't need a building. You don't need a building to be real with God. You don't need a building to be real with one another. You don't need a building to do that. You be real with people walking down the street. You be real with people sitting on a bus, sitting in the lunchrooms. You be real with people any and everywhere. That way it don't cost you a penny. You see, the world knows that we human beings require certain things. And this is why they came up with money. Money is supposed to be the substitute. Some people have said it's the substitute for God, but it's not the substitute for God. It's the bait that is used by men and women who want to be God. So to sucker you in, they use money. They put price tags on everything. On labor, on health care, on learning, on everything got a price tag on it. And you can't get it unless you got money. So as long as you need these things and they got price tags on it, you need money. You got to go and become a slave to the one who produced the money in order to get the money. You got to become a slave. And who are the